Hello, guys. Welcome to Heart and Homes podcast. I'm Motunrayo Akinola. And by the way, we have an exciting topic to discuss today. And before I reveal the topic, have you subscribed? If you are yet to subscribe, kindly click that box that has triangle. Click the subscribe button. All right, so that you don't miss out on every other exciting and insightful topics. So today we have a special guest with us. She's a wife, she's a mother, she's a coach, she's a counselor, she's a serial entrepreneur. In fact, she's an embodiment of beauty and great personality that has to do with family and business. I'm with Pastor Mrs. Yinka Agbola. She's a serial entrepreneur. She runs series of businesses, but the major is GY Mark Global Consult. They are into educational services and the rest, and also into interior designs, furnitures, decorations, wardrobes, and the likes. So welcome with me, Pastor Mrs. Adenyinka Agbola. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me on this program. And I want to thank God for your life and for the great work you are doing. Thank you for having me. Viewers at home, thank you for being there. I'm sure you're going to have a good time.
Right about now, the topic we're discussing, like I said, is for our single sisters, okay? Which is before you getting married, the makeup of a single sister, you being called a wife, just like that verse says, he that findeth a wife, findeth a good thing, man, So, I discovered that most ladies want to rush into getting married, the perfect man, where is he and all that, but we want to ask ourselves that question. What's your makeup as a single lady? How far have you groomed yourself, prepared yourself for marriage? We don't just want to jump into it. So we have had a lot of will I say confusions and desperations that we're seeing, with our single sisters. So that's what we are just talking about this piece. So what's your take about that kind of mindset?
That actually, the mindset of quick fix it in when it comes to marriage is not a welcoming one. And permit me to say this, that this very particular topic is of a very paramount interest to me. When you mention it to me, I'm like, this is very, very timely and is actually needed by the youth of nowadays, because they say we're in a kind of a microwave age. Everybody they want it quick, everyone, but it doesn't really work like that. Even our Lord Jesus Christ said, and I think in the book of Luke chapter 14, he said, who is a man that wants to build a house that will not first prepare, that will first look at the cost, what it's going to cost? So the same thing is marriage. Marriage is like a home. The Bible even refers to marriage as a home. So like, if you want to go into marriage, it's like you're going to projects of building a home, because the marriage is a home. So what it means is that one must be prepared. A lot just need to be put in place.
Yes. And again, people talk about
As a young lady.
The young lady, talk about different aspects of being matured as a single lady, even as man. But today we are focusing on the ladies. Yeah. So aspect of being matured in aspect of your spiritual life, your finances, your emotions.
Yeah, we're going to go into all that because that building up, that preparation takes a whole lot, which are part of what Jesus just mentioning now. So there are things that we should look at very, very in-depthly, because they're actually what makes they are the foundations that make the home and that sustain the family. Yeah, so very important.
And saying that we don't just want to be tagged a married woman, and then you don't have that makeup. Like I was saying earlier, even in character, your conduct, you should be prepared. Just like those 10 virgins, they are preparing themselves to meet that bride. So do I just want to, mingle and just be there?
You must be a woman of substance, because Bible said that does the verse, the anchor verse we're looking at, that's he that findeth a wife, finding a good thing. A wife is a treasure. A wife is a gift. A wife is a valuable thing, a valuable person. So, and to really be a treasure, a valuable person, a helpmate, even God said the wife will be a helpmate to the woman, to the man. So for all that to be the features of the woman, then it means the woman must be prepared. It must be prepared financially, emotionally, must be prepared, intellectually, must be prepared spiritually. In all ramifications, just like you said, very, very important. And it just happened that in the present age, those things are missing. And I bet that is the reason why many marriages nowadays don't last. Because we have people just jump into marriage. Marriage is not about two people, husband and wife sleeping together. It's beyond sex. It's actually, there are these are all the building blocks that you put together that really, solidify the marriage. So very, very key. That's why I said this very topic is very germane, and it's something of interest to me as a person.
Okay, ladies, get ready for this. So, like I had a conversation, I think 2 years ago for general family. It was tagged before you show up. So I think same would apply to single ladies too. Before I show up to that Mr. Pattern that you've been waiting for. Like I was having a conversation with one of my sisters earlier today. She was explaining how her husband was asking her, were you prepared for this? As in, he was looking at how she was caring for the children, the first child. So it dawned on me that even as a single lady, you should have prepared yourself in that aspect.
Yeah.
For example, you are in a church, how do you assist with
the children department, or even the children department? Are you a volunteer?
Exactly.
Do you volunteer?
Yes. And another way is for newborn mothers. They would need help in as a part of their mother-in-laws or mothers coming around.
True.
Do you volunteer yourself for such?
Yeah,
so sharing of someone earlier too that's trying to handle baby. So these are part of what I did as well. And I was in my university. My sister, she has 6 children, and they were always looking out for when
someone will come around
the house chores and all this. Exactly. So I believe it's necessary. Just that the generation we are today,
honestly,
who have gotten more busy, more distracted, and feel like, it has to be my life, myself, and I
alone.
But as sisters, I will encourage strongly that give yourself out there. But the bottom line or the foundation for every single lady that wants to be designed perfect wife. We are not perfect actually, but the rooms combine.
Exactly.
So that's
every day we should aspire to actually.
Is not
aspire towards perfection.
Perfection, that's true. Not to leave out the foundation, which is our relationship with God.
Yeah.
And helps to check a lot of can help to check a lot of downsides or your errors or your Adamic nature. Because if we don't have that solid foundation, it's good. Every other factor that you want to consider that will make you a wife, you will not even know it. How much more you
utilizing or developing them on the
Yes. So now I want you to share more on that aspect of being matured in major aspects of life. For me to be able to now decide that I've now been that wife that my ideal man has been looking for. Yeah, in terms of your emotions, financially, career-wise, why waiting? How do I make up myself to be that ideal wife? Property. Let me use the word property. Ideal wife.
Where's material?
Yeah.
Thank you, Samotlayo. That's a good one. I'll look at it from this perspective. Before I go into all that one needs to do or mature. I want this to mature in all areas. First and foremost, and I think you talk about that. I want to say that the first thing first, your foundation is very important. Ensure that you are a friend of God. That's where it starts from. Ensure you are a friend of God. You have found your relationship with God and is established, because Jesus, that relationship is going to sustain you all through marriage. No matter the capacity or whatever you have built, Jesus still has to be the foundation. And when you are a friend of Jesus, God will always be there to be your ally, even all through the journey. I start from there. Two, like marriage is not just what one walks into. Just like that. So there needs to be preparedness. While you're waiting as a single sister, I will say that use the time that you are waiting to build capacity. Build capacity spiritually. Let me start from there. When you have become the ally of God, or God has become your ally, your friend of God, then begin to build capacity spiritually. As in, begin to develop yourself, dig yourself to your prayer life, fasting, attending programs, gaining knowledge, gaining spiritual knowledge, exposure to spirituality is very, very, it matters. And why am I trying to emphasize on this? Because marriage is actually, let me say, is a battlefield. I'll say it's a battlefield. And it is an institution where you never graduate. So when you enter into it, it's not just all about, it's not going to be bed of roses all through. But when you are develop yourself spiritually, you're going to be able to just wade through all the challenges that may come. For example, you're going to become a mother. You're starting as a wife. You're going to be there for your husband, fighting battles for your husband, both at the home front, work front, whatever, everywhere. So you're going to be the strong woman behind your husband. And if you don't build yourself spiritually, you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to be there as a mother in the home front to raise your children. The Bible says training up children in the way that they should go. You are going to be the teacher. The mother is going to be the teacher. So if you are not developed spiritually, how are you going to be able to impact those knowledge into the children? And then the Bible talks about the virtuous wife. So all this capacity we're talking about, Proverbs chapter 31, you will read from, I think, verse 12 or verse 14 downwards. It talks about all these preparedness we're talking about. How the woman must be financially prepared. The Bible talks about that woman, and I love to use that woman. I call her the Proverbs 31 woman.
It's not until you get married before you can do all this.
No, until you get married.
That's what
financially you must. For example, you must have savings accounts. You must be financially literate. So the time that you are waiting, build capacity. If you're going to actually be a wife material, if you're going to be that treasure, that woman, like to the glory of God, my children call me Gem and Joel. They call me Gem and Joel. If you're going to be that woman that's going to add value to that man, that's going to help that man, that's going to affect the life of that man, and even going to affect your home, your marriage, very positively, you must be prepared adequately. Yeah. And the only time that you have to prepare is your single age, or how do I put it? Because once you are married, blindsided, no time. No time again.
To start preparing.
No time.
Battlefield.
No time. So you've got to utilize your time well. Yeah. For example, those that, maybe the brother is not showing up quickly, then use that time now to begin to do all the training you want to do. Maybe you want to go do your master's, you want to do professionalism, do it. I remember there's a girl now married that was counseling then. She finished her secondary school. Okay, the next thing, go and do this. I told her, go and register for ICANN. She registered for ICANN, she started ICANN. Then the next thing, she gained admission to OAU Ife. The next thing, so she was juggling ICANN and a degree program. Before you know it, final year, she got chartered, and then she got a BSc degree. So immediately after that, she was preparing and she got married.
I think generally it's just maximizing
your exactly. Don't just settle in. You must be doing so many things at part time at the same time. Or how do I put it? Utilize your time. Just like you said, maximize your time well. Do a lot when you are still single. Because by the time you enter into marriage, you're never going to have the time. Even your spiritual life, build serious capacity. Because you can go for crusade, you can go for retreats, you can do some seminars where you are single. But once you're into marriage,
my thoughts about that aspect in terms of building career, like I was that was, I think, after my second child, I went for my master's, and I tell you, till today, maybe this year I would, by God's grace, have to finish it up. What you just said is very profound. I could have done this when I was single, but I was looking for, not that I was very fine, not that the best time as it were. I I will still put this in the next in one of our episodes. I was looking out for a relationship that will lead into marriage, so to say, while I was still doing some businesses and all that. In the long run, I found myself in about 7 relationships
I never worked
I
out.
never worked that within 2 years.
Can you
Imagine that. So that's precious time, 2 years. Though that 2 years, not that I was just about men. Don't worry, guys. We'll talk more about that in some episode. And I could have used that time to really build myself in terms of my career. I could not do it with pregnancy and all that. I was jumping exams and all, but it's very, very profound. Another thing I want to mention is the aspect of submission. You know, it's been instructed that wife submits to your husband, then husband love your wife. So the aspect of saying wife submits, and we are saying that you should have been a wife even before you get married. So that means that for me to have that attribute of submission, I must be doing it to my maker, to my God. As a single lady, how do you submit? Even to your earthly parents now, do you submit to them, or elderly people, senior people in the family or whatsoever? If I find it difficult to do it now,
it's not really going to be easy to do it in marriage.
It's not easy to do it in marriage. We're talking about submission to God, and now it's being related to even your character. So what I do, what are my attributes now as a single lady? What can my parents say about me now? Am I stubborn? Am I adamant?
And I want the feedback from people that you know.
I feel that when you are in right tune with men, the Bible says, when you are in right tune with men, you are definitely being right tune with God. So the first men in your life, I believe strongly, is your immediate family now. Am I submissive to my parents? We're talking about character. Submissive to my parents. What can your siblings say about you? All those things are very profound, even as a single lady. Not just, I want a single man, I want to get married and all that.
You must be prepared. In your character and your attitude. How prepared are you in your character? How do you relate with people? And then I will add another thing I want to say, that I advise that single ladies should use their time to read. Read a lot of books, buy books about marriages, buy books about relationship, emotional intelligence. When you're talking about relating with people, it takes a lot of emotional intelligence, because you're just going to be relating with different kinds of people, with different kinds of attitude and character. Who is not perfect? You as a person is not perfect, and people one is relating with you, they are not perfect. So it takes emotional intelligence to be able to balance relationships. So even when you step into marriage, the man is not going to be a perfect man.
Yes.
In terms of character and everything, by the way God has, made every one of us. So I advise that read books, build yourself up in the area of your character, develop good character, pray for good, and check yourself, know yourself. That's another thing. You need to know yourself. And that still boils down to reading book. There's a book thing like the spirit control. So inside you have a temperament. So you should know yourself. Because if you don't know yourself, you're not going to be able to know other people. So know yourself first, then know other people. And start, like you said, start with your immediate family. Know your siblings. What temperaments are they made of? So that's going to help you when you get married too. And when you get married too, you go to know your husband and know your children individually, because that's going to help you to be able to relate with them effectively and smoothly.
There's a verse that says, "He that know their God will do exploit." So it's what you know that you can do exploit with. And I read that book, Spirit Control Temperament. I was able to discover some weaknesses about myself, and it was confirmed by what my immediate family was saying about you, which was, should I say it? Which was stinginess. And I got to learn in that book that what people complain about you, we are talking about character behavior as a single lady, you should use your immediate family first as a person. Not that you are different outside and all that, and then inward.
Because they'll be able to tell you the
truth about what
about you as that.
So when he was saying it there, I was like, this is too much and all that. But when I encountered that, it helps you to know who you are and other people and how to relate better with people. Another thing you want to consider as a single lady is being among healthy community and people that would help or foster your growth as a single lady. You don't just want to mingle and keep attending movies and all that, because the association you find yourself with it would also speak loud about what you will also become in various future. You want to say some more things now?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. There's I think an adage that says, "Show me your friend, and I will tell who you are." So it's very, very important the kind of association that you keep. I would say that move with like minds, move with people that are going where you're going, move with people that have vision for their future. They know what the kind of future they're looking at, and they're aligning themselves. So, and I say this, so I say for myself, like, when I was growing up as a young woman, even when I was newly married, people say, "Oh, Inka, you don't have too many friends." As in, you be observing, you don't have too many friends. It's not that I don't have friends. I have friends, but like, there's already safe because still because why? Because of my focus, because of where I'm going. So I would say that work with like minds, people that are going where you are going. People, so everybody cannot be your friend as an intimate friend. People that don't share your values, that don't share your visions, they don't necessarily need to be very, very
Carry the same identity.
Yeah. So work with like minds. I would say that is very important.
Lastly, from my end,
Because if I can add to that, there's someone. It's just a story. Someone that associated with wrong people. She was married and she was associating with these friends that are not married. They don't even have marriage in focus. So they were not like influencing her. Before you know it, she lost her marriage. He married her. She has produced 4 children. She lost her marriage. So because of wrong association. So it's very important.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
So lastly, as regards preparing ourselves for the future thing, I would like to encourage sisters to pray and prepare their future husband in the spiritual realm. You can do that. You can settle things with God. True, it's because as a single lady, you trust God.
Yeah.
He that trusted in God, God can never be put to shame.
Yeah.
So instead of just sitting around, plan ahead in a place of prayer. You can settle many things. So many battles
Exactly.
around childbearing, decision making, your future investments, and so many things. Prayer. You cannot take it in the space of praying for your future.
That's very true. Very, very correct. And that's what we started from that. Build that spiritual. When you have become the friend of God, the ally of God, then build spiritual capacity, which a lot has to do with prayer, praying ahead. And
so generally speaking, being single doesn't mean that is the end of life or whatsoever. Is a
time of investing into your future.
And again, a time to discover yourself and also complete yourself, because you are coming into another man's life to also complete each other.
Yes.
Not to compete.
Yes.
But God said you've made yourself a wife. God has made you a woman, made yourself a wife in the process, and you are meeting a husband. Be able to come together, synergize.
Yes.
Create mighty things.
Yes, I'm going to complete life of that man, to give him peace and to give him joy. The Bible said that. God said, He said, it's not good for a man to be alone. He said, I will provide for him a wife who will be an helpmate. That will be an helpmate for him. So as the lady is coming to the life of the man, it's become an help that meets all his needs.
So you are
So like that virtuous woman in Proverbs 31. So you're coming in to complete the life of that man.
All right. Thank you very much for listening or joining us in today's episode. We've had it all. You are coming in as a wife. I will make for him a wife, not a girl, or not a
wife that will be an helpmate.
Yes. So let's work on that, single ladies. God bless us in Jesus' name. Thank you for joining us. And I pray for you that in your pursuit, your work with God, God would help you in your decision making in Jesus' name. And is there anything that you need to work on or whatsoever, God will also help you in Jesus' name. So please, in the comments below, you can put in any other ideas you have for us on making yourself a wife, as single sisters. Thank you. Kindly subscribe and see you again in our next episode. See you.